like you going down to 145 instead of 135. Your powerbomb homeboy, people want to see that same action again.
Credit to Dana White actually giving me props. I was like, wow, Dana giving me flowers right now. I wiped a tear. I was like, we come a long way, man.
What was the turnaround for you to fight Sean?
3.5 months. You know, I told my manager no probably like 5 different times, but eventually somehow convinced to take it.
When they were trying to force me to fight TJ Dillashaw, I was like, pay me $1 million. So they're like, we're gonna close the division. They're like, close the motherfucker. Sean.
John Jones, when we were in college together, a week before his fight, him at the bar going nuts. And then that weekend, he would just murder a guy. It was like, he's doing something right.
Oh, it's 15-time world champion, Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the MightyCast.
What's going on, guys? This podcast is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game where you're able to play directly from your phone. All you got to do is go to your app store, download PrizePick, and when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MightyCast. They have a cool promotion going on right now. All you got to do is play $5 and you're going to win $50 no matter what happens in the football game or in the mixed martial arts fight. And this is the last week that you can take advantage of the free square with Caleb Williams. All he's got to do is get 1 yard. Once he does that, you win that square. You match it with something else. It could be football, it could be mixed martial arts, it could be gaming. You get to make that pick as long as you make it the right place, which is PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this podcast. Now let's get back to our good friend Aljamain Sterling.
Yes.
So we haven't talked about you. Okay,
I've got a new walkout song coming out too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hang on now, don't spoil.
We gotta get you on the track.
Shit, what you want, girl? Come on. What's the track?
What's it
called?
I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. I was thinking to call it hood folklore, but it's just like dreams for the hood, you know?
Okay, I love that.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, you did a rap album before, haven't you?
We got 2 tracks out right now.
Okay.
One called Kill Shot and the other one called Go Dumb. Go Dumb is more fun though. That's still slaps, bro.
Does it?
Every time I hear that, I'm just like, yo, this is such a party vibe. Like I can see them dubstepping it with some techno beats, and it's just like, yo, this would be a fun ass song.
Have you ever walked out to Go Stupid?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What was the the vibe from the crowd? They love it. They all go stupid.
I think they didn't really realize it was me.
I
don't think they realized it was me.
We're rolling right now, right? Okay. I just want to make sure the camera's on. Okay, good. Well, I can't wait to hear it. I need to go back and listen to all the other music. Before we start, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the MightyCast. I have here one of my good friends, Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, and he's rocking some of the Funk Harbor. We're going to talk about all those beautiful things. Thanks for coming here and giving us time, brother.
Thanks. You invited me to your house in Vegas. I didn't know it was in another state, but
this ain't my motherfucking house. I tell you that all the time. Like, this is my dad's house.
I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, dude, where am I going?
That's always the hardest thing for me when I come to Vegas. I want to train so much with different people, right?
Yeah.
And we trained the last time I was in Vegas, and it's like probably about 35, 40-minute drive just to get to your house. Then we train for an hour and a half, and then I have another 40-minute drive back home, right? So I'm hoping one day, maybe in 2 to 5 years, who knows what life's going to throw at me. Maybe I'll have a house out here, and then maybe I'll be on that side of the Vegas. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah. You know what? But when you do come, like I said, if you, because you're training, if you want to stay, you can stay over because we got all these extra rooms.
What about my kids? Can I bring all 3 of them too?
Well, we got the studio downstairs.
Okay.
So you could.
So they can fuck that up?
They can't it up. they
that's what they're going to do. They're going to it up.
They can stay down there watching TV. They'll be all taken care of.
You're doing me a raw change. He goes, they can't it up. They can stay down there.
I was thinking you come for like 2 days and then you could go back.
That is something I could do. I could come stay tonight when I'm in Vegas, come stay tonight at your place, train, and then drive myself back.
Yeah, this way you get 2 sessions.
That's true. Because that's always the hardest thing. It's like, I trained this morning out in Henderson. That was about a 40-minute drive. Now I'm back here. My son wants to go train tonight. And my wife was like, I got to drive all the way back there. And I'm like, I know. But
where is he going?
FTCC. Where's
that?
That's in fucking Henderson, I feel like.
Whose school is that?
That's Taylor. We call him Ninja. It's where Mikey meets Mikey Mitsumichi trains. So,
Okay.
but that's why I've been training late because all the guys there are grapplers and they're all super small. Like I think
Tonight, you guys are doing that tonight?
no, we did it this morning. Look, he trying to think about it. He trying to get some of this smoke too, dog.
No, I'm actually tapped out for today, but if it was tonight, I was like, maybe I could come and just drill. And
Yeah.
My arms are smoked, bro. We did grapple heavy yesterday, last night, and then I did a circuit in the morning, and then today I sparred, and I was just like, dude, normally I don't spar Tuesdays, but because Dennis is fighting this week, I was like, let me just mix some things up.
Yeah. You say you got a device in your neck. What device do you have in your neck?
It's a titanium plate.
Okay. When you said device, I thought it was like actually you got to charge the motherfucker, and it's like
Nah,
actually trying
that
to
would
keep
be
charge.
But in the morning, sometimes like I almost have to oil it. So it's like get the liquid in there, and it's like, and I can hear it, but no one can hear it. It's just in my head. I can hear it. I'm like, you hear that, babe? She's like, no.
You're on bed and you're like, oh god, it's like pop, 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 pop. And Becca's like, can you stop? Like it sounds like a fucking chicken's in the coop. Stop.
Yeah. But it's been quite a process having this, but it's a lot better. So thankfully, these guys were able to put me back together so I could compete.
What's going on, guys? This podcast is sponsored by VIIA Hemp. Now, VIIA Hemp is a premium hemp product company. They have hemp products from a range of CBD, THC, and flower. And the cool thing about VIIA Hemp is whether if you want to chill, relax, or get elevated, they got the right product for you. And if you guys want to find out more about VIIA Hemp, all you got to do is look in the description below. It has all the information that you need. That way you can see if VIIA Hemp is a good choice for you. And if you do that, make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. That will save you 15% on your complete order, whether you're relaxing, enjoying a movie, or you're going out to a concert, or if you just want to play video games like your boy and make sure it's a great experience. Shout out to VIIA Hemp for sponsoring this podcast. Now let's get back to my good friend, Aljo. Gotcha. Okay, so the last time we talked to you, you had a fight, your first fight at 145 in the UFC. Went well. You ended up fucking powerbombing homeboy. What was it like not having to cut down to 135 anymore, right? Like, you get fucking big. You're walking around, what, 175, 180 right now?
Right now, this morning I was 65.
65? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, which is good.
That's a huge jump. We were at CJI, and we were all talking, and you told Uriah you were walking around like 170,
70, 75.
Okay, that's when you're out of camp.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So when you're out of camp, 175, in camp, 164.
I'm usually close to the 68. I just had such a crazy grappling session last night and the training session in the morning that all the weight just came off. Dude, I sweat so heavy. I'm a bad sweater. Like I cramp so bad. So I have to take a shit ton of electrolytes. They made me like some special concoction with like glutamine, magnesium, electrolytes, just to help me with the cramping. So I'll sweat anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds sometimes, which is just nuts.
So walking around 160, 165, 167, depending on the workout. Now, instead of you cutting down to 135, now you cut down to 145. What was that like, your first weight cut, finding 145?
It was nerve-wracking because I'm used to getting down to 35, and I know it sucks. So for me to get down to 45, I'm thinking like, am I going to get as big? Because I know when I make 35, I hear some bantamweights that would get to 160. I'm like, dude, I don't get that big. But then I would always get to like 52. And when I was a champ, we fought later in the night. So I had a little bit more time to put on more weight. So I would get closer to like 55, 56. But then once you're in the back room, you start using the bathroom, pissing nonstop. And then I'm probably losing another 2-3 pounds. So fight night, I'm probably stepping in the cage like anywhere from 53 to 55. Now at 45, in the morning I was about 63, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, I'm larger than charge right now. I just didn't think I was gonna break 150, like 55. I was I might struggle, but then the weight came right back on really quick. I'm like, man, this feels nice.
It's probably more of your body's natural weight, because it feels like when you go 135, you get severely dehydrated, right? And then when your body's trying to get the electrolytes back in yourself, it's like your muscles are so depleted. It's like, dude, we can't even get this shit back in us. You go 145, your body's like, oh, we didn't have to dehydrate ourselves as much. Oh, we're feeling good. This feels good. So you're loving the weight cut to 145.
It's easier, but it's still hard as shit.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. I was shocked. I felt like I was hurting, and in my head, I'm like, there is no way I should be hurting almost as bad as I do to make 35. But we made it. And obviously, because I let my weight stay a little bit heavier, because I didn't have to cut down as much. Like normally fight week, I would get down to 50 on that Sunday. and that would help with my transition in order for me to make that weight to 35. So for this, I had to get down to 60. And even at 60, I was like, maybe I should get a little bit lighter. But then I'm like, if I get too light, maybe I won't put the weight back on. So I got to like 58. I mean, I document everything. So I was probably like 58, 60 on that Sunday. And then the last day, Thursday night, it just wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Damn. Well, I hear that's a common thing. Like I remember in Uriah Faber when he was fighting at 135 and he was like, I'm gonna go up to 145 and fight. And then when he made 145, he was like, this fucking sucks. Yeah. This is worse. He was like, I can't believe, and he goes, I can't believe I made 135. And when I went up to 135 from 125, I was like, wow, this actually feels a lot easier. But then it started getting harder because I put more muscle on. Yeah. And then I'm like, dude, why is it so much harder? Maybe it's because of my preparation. I'm not drinking 2 gallons of water to make 125. And so I always had to get other athletes' opinion, like making 135 from you making 135 to 145. What was the huge difference? And did you enjoy making 45 instead of 35?
I still did the water load. Like I still had to do all of that stuff. But definitely more enjoyable. Like I felt more energetic, more pleasurable to be around from what I hear from my team. Now, I've seen guys that are just like absolute dicks doing their weight cut where it's just like they're a completely different human being. I'm just like, have I ever been like that? They're like, no, you do it in your own different way. But you're almost like condescending. Like someone will ask me a question and I'll just kind of reply. Yeah. Like you should. Yeah. But then the reply would be very like, I guess demeaning. Yeah. Just like how dare you ask such a silly question?
Stupid ass human. Are you stupid? Well, I mean,
useless.
Does Becca say there's a different change? Like, does she enjoy? Like, Destiny, she's like, I love you going to 135 because you don't look like a fucking little boy. Like
35.
For me, does Becca enjoy you going to 145 instead of 135?
I think she likes me better at 45.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's only been one, but she's seen enough of the 35 weight cut. She just knows I'm like knocking on death's door.
Gotcha.
Like even now, like I don't walk around like a high body fat percentage. So when I did cut down, I had to lose a lot of muscle. I posted this on my podcast. When I did the UFC PI testing, my fat-free mass, and this is after my 1 month binge of just partying, drinking, enjoying my life, which I should have been able to do after I fought Henry. Yeah. But, for unforeseen circumstances, to get the right outcome that they wanted, I took another fight. Yep. I don't think I need to disclose any names.
Shout out MALLEY!
Sometimes people want to take out the king when he's hurt. And, kudos to him. Fair play, I guess. If you ain't, whatever. But after that, I went on my bender. I went to Australia. We went to Sydney. We went to Bali. Went to the UK. Did a grappling match at Polaris. Went to London. Hung out for a couple of days. And I went to Amsterdam to do the rest of the testing for the other 2 liquids of the rums that we're gonna have come out. And I came to the UCPI. I was like, let you guys know I'm doing this testing, but this is probably not optimal because I have just been on one for literally a month and like 1, maybe 2 weeks. So it wasn't the great testing. I was cramping in some of the tests. Yep. But my fat-free mass came back at, I think, 141.2 or 142.1, something like that.
That means that's how much muscle you have in your body, just pure muscle.
Just like all fat removed.
All fat removed. So if we take all the fat off you, it's 141. Yeah. So you make it 135.
Was just fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just fucked up. And like it takes a different kind of human being to want to put themselves through that. But it was just all I knew. I knew how to cut weight. I always were one of the better ones who could cut weight in college
still perform.
And still semi-perform. But I always knew like I never looked the same in the room that I looked on fight night. And I think at 45, I felt like the more of the things we were drilling and working on, I was able to actually do that and sustain the energy the entire time. Like when I first got to the UFC, fighting at 35 was easy. I could make the weight in a week.
You were like, what, 23, 24?
24 when I got signed.
24, right? So your body, you're still a kid. Yeah. Let's be honest. You're still a kid. Now you're fucking 34, 35. You're a grown-ass man. Your body, your muscles are so much more denser. When you're 24, you're like, I can do that easy.
Yeah. My Cody Stamen fight, that day, I only had to cut 2 pounds that night of.
Damn.
Which was easy. I was like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah. What about now when you cut to when you fought Sean, how much would you have to cut the night before?
I think we had 9.
9.
And for me, a guy who's already depleted, it's not like I had a lot to lose. So to do that drastic weight cut in such a short amount of time, I knew I was like fighting an uphill battle. I'm like, you know, I told my manager no probably like 5 different times. But eventually, somehow, I was eventually convinced to take it. And
the thing is I'll help you speak to this. You know, the UFC, they do what they want to fucking do, right? Like when they were trying to force me to fight TJ Dillashaw, I was like, pay me $1 million. So they're like, we're gonna close the division. They're like, they close the motherfucking division, Sean. Next thing you know, like, we're not closing the division, right? So they always have their sneaky ways to, you know, put champions, I guess you can say, in a position to take a fight when they honestly, you didn't have to take that fight because you just fight Henry Cejudo, and then what was the turnaround for you to fight Sean?
Like 3.5 months.
3.5 months. That's fucking, like, in today's age in mixed martial arts, that's
5-round fight.
Yeah, 5-round fight. It's unheard of. Nobody. When's the last time? Let's look at somebody. I'll say the most active champion today's date is probably Izzy, but he's not the champion anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Izzy was fucking banging him out. After that, who will we say?
Now it's probably Alex Pereira.
Yep.
But after that, there was really no one else turning around that quickly. And it wasn't the turnaround. It was a turnaround. It was more so the injuries that I had after the fight and from before the fight, because that's when I went to Colombia to get the stem cells from BioAccelerator. And that helped out, but I didn't even give that enough time to do his job because I was trying to rush to get back to fight Henry so that they didn't make an interim. So they said the longest we could do for the Henry fight was May. And I said, okay. So I went. They were able to squeeze me in because there was a long wait list, but they managed to get me in. I had to call Heather from the PI. They pulled some strings, some other people, and they were able to navigate and get me in there. It was like, can you come next week? And I was like, thank God. So I got that done. That helped out a little bit. And now it feels almost as good as new, I would say. No complaints about it anymore. Before, where I was having those sharp pains wrestling, I was like, dude, I'm going to tear this either in training or the fight. And I would like to at least get paid for it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Like, let me just, pray to God. Like, let me just get to the fight. And then after that, like, my shins was so beat up from that fight because Henry's fast.
Yeah, he is.
Even off the couch, people were like, oh, you beat a washed up, watered down Henry. I'm like, dude, you should get in there and try to see if that's a washed up, watered down Henry. That was probably one of the better versions, more fresh body, healed up. And I knew that my biggest attacks were going to be my kicks. So my shins were so swollen that you could put fingerprints just by squeezing my shins. So I was like, dude, I can't train for pretty much a month. So that 3.5 month turnaround turns into 2 months, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, and then it's like,
and then the dieting,
and I think people don't understand like the mental strain on fighting. Like, can I get ready for a fight? Absolutely, but the mental strain just to get myself ready again, it's like I don't fucking want to do it. Like, especially a hard fight with Henry, then you got to turn around, do all that. You have all these injuries. You have, what is that called when you have a lot of water retention in your legs and you squeeze? I think it's called. We're just talking about that because my father-in-law just went through heart surgery and he had an edema.
Yes.
Yeah, edema is where your body retains all that fluid. So, I mean, I understand because I'm an athlete and I've been in your shoes before when it's like, dude, I just got done fucking training. I'm still hurting. I don't want to do another fight. And then you end up doing it and doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, but it happened, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I take responsibility. Like, I signed the contract, right?
Yeah.
But if people who don't understand fighting, if you do understand fighting, you would understand that wasn't the best version of myself from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, and a tactical standpoint. And I spoke to Dean Thomas. And him and I were talking. He's like, dude, if you don't feel ready, he's like, don't fight.
Yeah.
I was like, I know. I feel like I'm being put in a position and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I said no, but this is what they're telling me, and X, Y, and Z. I won't be able to fight till next year. They said like March or April. Something crazy. Where it's like, I asked you for 1 extra month so I could just decompress. All I want is a month to decompress. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, give me some time to heal and then let me enjoy my month while I heal. So it's not like I'm healing and I'm like, I got to figure out what to do so I can stay in some type of shape while this guy is training, getting ready to beat this broken version of me. So there's a lot of things. And I told him at the end, I was like, I'm going to try to turn the switch on. And I thought I did, but I clearly didn't.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, I look at it like the better man that night won.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I give Sean his flowers. I've always said the kid was very talented. I always thought he was very skilled. Since he got signed on the Contenders, I was like, this kid moves fucking well.
Yeah.
And his vision and to strike from both stances, like, I know guys who could do that in the room, and I know guys who can't. I know the difficulty it takes and the type of athletic ability you need. And I know he played basketball, which I did too. And just to have that lateral footwork and to be able to stop on a dime and pivot. And that's one of the things I always complimented him about, saying he's just a very hard guy to track down. And a guy who moves like that is very hard to take down.
Yep.
You know? I was being told, you're just going to take him down and kill him. And
I was one of those people where I was like, if Aljo get his hands around him, that's what I was saying, if you get your hands around him, but that's the biggest thing. If getting cross at this to get to him, and the lateral movement, it's one of his greatest strengths, I believe.
100%. Yeah, it is what it is. But now I'm at 45 and things just feel better.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, like I feel like even if they wanted me to fight earlier for the Mozart fight, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that again. I was like, even though I'm cutting less weight, I just fought and I'm good. And I had jacked up my finger pretty bad. I hurt my finger probably 3 or 4 weeks before the Calvin fight, where I couldn't really even punch with my right hand because the knuckle, and they said it was like a bad bone bruise and some ligament sprains. And for that, to just clench my fist, I was like, bro, this kills. We padded it up in the back room. Don House did a great job. I had to like whisper to him in the corner. I was like, yo, man, my fucking hand, my finger's fucked up, bro. Like, I'm scared I might break my hand today. I was like, can you pad it up? And then he padded it up, dude. I didn't feel anything. Just like the stabilization in between the knuckles and the joint. And I was like, let's fucking go. I was like, ready to go.
It's crazy. Let me backtrack real quick. When they talk about, like, I feel that's the one thing that we have a hard time in mixed martial arts is champions don't get enough time to actually celebrate their wins. Right? It's like if you win NFL, you win a Super Bowl, you at least have you have at least 4 to 5 months just to chill before anything else, before you start spring practice, anything like that. Granted, this is football and this is mixed martial arts. So when you win a belt and you defend it, it's like, all right, Aljo, hey, MMA junkie here. Hey, good job today. You look real good out there. Is there any time we want to get back into the game?
You sound like Big John.
Yeah, Big John. And you're like, you know what? I literally just got done fucking fighting. I haven't got a chance to even have sex with my wife. But I don't. It's like
number one.
Who's next? But it's, you already know. It's who's next. You don't get a chance to be like, hey, I just won. I'm stepping away from the sport. I'll be back when I'm ready to be back. Like me and Michael were literally just talking about this. He goes, why isn't Bo Nickel fighting more? And I was like, because it's up to the athletes get to choose when they want to fight. If they don't pressure you, right?
Champ, though.
Don't fucking matter, Michael.
Nah, I respect Bo Nickel for fighting when he's ready to fight, because we are still people. We have other things that we want to do. Like, what's the point of accomplishing all of this on an international platform, getting the notoriety, making the money, and then not being able to enjoy it?
I agree.
There's like, isn't that the reason why we did this? Just to say, you think we want to just be robots and fight every single weekend? Like, that sounds cool and all, but this isn't Fight Club. Like, I would like to go home and enjoy myself and enjoy a nice cocktail and just relax, party a little bit. I don't do any hardcore drugs. I smoke weed, occasionally mess around with psilocybin. And, you know, take a little trip here and there. Once in the blue, maybe like once, twice a year.
Yeah.
And I drink.
Yeah.
And I'm very open about it. It's one of my vices, but it keeps me sane. Yeah. Just like when we would wrestle, we'd compete, we'd do a crazy tournament, hard week of training. Then that weekend, as soon as the tournament or the do meet was over, me and all the wrestlers are just going absolute nuts in college. Nuts. We were menaces. I remember when I became an All-American my first year as a junior, 133. I took fourth. To wrestle for third and fourth was just something I just never even thought was even possible. Yeah. I never even went to states.
Yeah. If you never went to state, you
this is my moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went, I lost the last match, which I was pretty pissed about. It was a D1 transfer. My junior and senior year, I lost to a D1 transfer my very last match of both seasons. And I was like, why can't you just stay D1?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. And I lost by a point in both matches, which I'm even more bummed about. Because at D1, so in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm not supposed to win. But then when I realized I could win, I'm just like...
You're hanging with them. You're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, oh, you guys are just like me. You're human. You're human. But then after I went, I All-American, I go home, I get shit-faced, bro. Blasted. We get weird. We can just get nuts in Cortland. And I'm doing like drop steps. There's people recording and telling me about what I'm doing. I'm like very vaguely remember any of this. Screaming, I'm a fucking All-American! I'm an All-American! Just crazy, man. So it's like we want to release sometimes and just be human.
Yep.
I know some people don't drink, but I do.
Yeah, and there's something wrong. That's your, like you said, that's your vices. Yeah. And I think I started to enjoy that part of the tail end of my career once I saw, my sister pass away, and I was like, why am I being so perfect? Like I'm so, should I be perfect? I can't drink. I'm in training camp. Then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. If I have 1 beer or 2 beers and I lose this fight because those 2 beers, that's fucking stupid. Like that's retarded. I was like, that's not how it should be. And I think for people to enjoy themselves, however it may be, whether it's smoking weed, drinking alcohol, doing mushrooms, shit.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that a little bit too. And I said the same thing. It's like, if I lost because of 1 drink, I deserve to lose. Yeah. I didn't deserve to win. Like, I don't think that one thing changes an entire training camp. No. Unless it's in the back of your mind. If you're one of those guys where you get weird like that, then don't do it. Yeah. Like for me, if I have a great sparring day,
you deserve to treat yourself.
I'm going to treat myself in the middle of camp. And I'm going to have 1 to 3 drinks. Yeah. I'm going to knock out early. And I wake up and I feel like, I'm ready to go again. Yeah. Like not spar, but I'm ready to train. Like I feel fresh.
You feel good. You feel like it's almost like a reset. Like, hey, you know what? You're still enjoying life. Yeah. Right? That's the worst thing that I always hated in being in training camp is that you basically cut up all the outside world. Nothing else exists besides the fight. Like, granted for me, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm taking them to the YMCA and all that other shit. But as far as going out and having dinner with the friends or having a drink or whatever, it's like, no, that shit doesn't exist. Now, when you actually do it, it's like, I'm just getting ready to fight and enjoying my best life.
Yeah. And I think suspect number 1, and I got to see this firsthand, was John Jones. When we were in college together. And he was in the UFC. I was still at Cortland. We went to school at SUNY Morrisville. That's where I first met him. I transferred out the next year, and I went to Cortland. Somehow, some way, I messaged him on MySpace, and he's training right down the fucking block from my college. And then I hit him up like, yo, I see you doing this grappling stuff and the fighting. Like, I always thought it was cool. Yeah. I think I could be good at this. Can I check it out? How can I check it out? And he was like, I'm training here. I was like, bro, I go to school right here. I was like, he was like, come on down. I came down. He was like, he dropped the M-bomb, but he's like, man, you're not going to show up. Yeah. I was like, I bet. I showed up the very next day, and I haven't stopped training since then. But I would see this man a week before his fight, him at the bar, at Mooney's, or the Dark Horse, going nuts. And in my head, I was very like, no sex, no drinking, no smoking. And I just thought the way of like Tyson and Ali and those guys, like, that's what they said. So don't do it if you want to be a champion. I'm like, okay. And then I would see him. I'm just like, I don't get it. And then that weekend, he would just murder a guy on international TV. I was like, he's doing something right. So I went from like cold turkey to like 6 weeks. Nothing changed in my fights. Yep. You're like, 4 weeks. Do a little bit more. Let me do a little more. And then I got to 2 weeks, and I was like, all right. Yeah. It's all mental, baby. It's all mental. Just put the damn work in and you're good.
That's the one thing I will say. Like, I just now started experimenting with marijuana, weed, right? And I, at first, like, because I watch my wife do it all the time. And I'm like, we first got there, I was like, if you're gonna be with me, you can't smoke weed. You get to stop it now. She goes, fine, I'll stop. And then I was like, we had our shit together. She's working, we're working. She goes, babe, can I please just smoke weed, please? I was like, fine, but I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you.
Wait, why?
Because growing up, my mom never smoked. Didn't know my dad until I was 30. So the stigma of marijuana when I was a kid was like, it's so bad for you. It's horrible. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, fuck weed. I'm never gonna do it, right? So I watched my wife. I was like, I'm gonna watch you smoke. And then she's like, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, are you high right now? She goes, no, not yet. I'm like, okay. Are you high now? She goes, yeah, I'm high now. I'm like, okay. I'm all sitting there. I'm like, hour and a half goes by. I'm like, are you still high? She goes, yeah, I'm still high. She's just sitting there chilling. We're having a good conversation. And next time I'm like,
that's it?
Are you still high? She goes, yeah. And then hour later, I'm like, you still high? She goes, yeah. No, she goes, no, I'm not high anymore. And I was like, what? It's like, that's it? She goes, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, no crash, nothing changed.
Yeah.
And I sit there, I'm like, why is everybody making out marijuana's fucking bad? And so now, fast forward, I'm 37. I'm working in the yard. Desi's out on the front porch, taking a couple of hits. And I'm out there and I'm like, you know what? I look in the ring. I was like, who's on the front porch? I see her sitting up like this. And I was like, God, it looks so easy. It's just so it's so painless. I'm like, I'm going to try. I go over there and it's like, let me have some. She goes, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, you just give me something. I was like, okay, that's fine. I walk around. I'm pulling big ass trees out of the fucking ground. And she goes, are you fucking pulling trees out of the ground? I was like, yeah, look at it. And the next day I went to the gym. I did like 12 rounds. Fucked everybody up. And I was like, this is a PED. This is what this fucking is. I called my coach. I was like, dog, this shit is phenomenal. It's a PED. I'm faster. He goes, no, you're not. You probably got good rest. And for me, it's something that I told one of my second dads. He goes, son, I'm sorry that you had to wait till you're 38 to experiment. He goes, I experimented when I was 14. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm like, good for you.
Yeah. It's nice, man. It's completely different. And I think a lot of people, for their insecurities or whatever, they put these stigmas on things. But I think if it's not harming you, there are some side effects. Like,
of course,
there's going to be some people commenting like, oh, but what about the people who get schizophrenia?
My brother.
But some people. Yeah. It's not for everybody. Yeah. But that's why you have to know yourself and know your limits and go from there.
It's just like alcohol, right? People are like, oh man, I can't, me and you could both sit here and drink this delicious rum, which we are going to do this, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be fine. Wake up next morning, go train. There's some people out there who rely on it, right? And we're just not those people. So you got to, like you said, know yourself. I come from a background where my brother, he has schizophrenia and bipolar, and it opened the gateway a lot earlier in life from what the doctor said, because he was smoking marijuana. And that's why it always kept me away from it. Another thing that kept me away from it. But I was like, you know what? I've done edibles before. I've been fine. So I'd rather just try it, right? You only get one life. And that's one thing my sister did. My sister, before she died, she goes, I've done LSD, mushrooms. And she goes, I want to experience every fucking thing this earth can bring to me. And I was like, bitch, you crazy. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. Okay, let's segue. Okay, you've been doing a lot of, side quests. Okay, one of your side quests,
GTA baby.
GTA is this delicious rum. Michael, can you get some glasses, please? This is delicious rum. Walk me through this. What made you want to do this? Because I feel, you're out there doing grappling matches at ADXC, Karate Combat, Polaris,
and Fury Grappling.
And grappling. Now we have another side quest. You have managed to create your own rum. Right there, goddammit.
See, this is, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is my baby, man. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I think probably 3 years in the making now, just like from thought to finally getting into a bottle to it now being out for sale. And this is made from 3 different distilleries in Jamaica, aged from 2 to 5 years. Premium blend. This is why the price point is at $60 on retail.
That's
online,
okay, baby. That's okay.
You're not getting a crap product. You're getting something good. And for those who don't know, the number 1 represents that this is a limited edition. So there were only 5,900 bottles of this made. So because there's only so much liquid that you could use to make this specific kind of blend, that's why this is edition number 1. We'll have edition number 2. And then obviously when a couple years go by, we're able to re-up and have enough product to make this one again. We'll come back out with this later on, but we'll have the white rum, a lightly aged Caribbean rum. So these 2 are going to be just pure Jamaican rum, and the white rum is going to be a lot easier, more. I don't want to say affordable because then it sounds like I'm
just different, just a different price point.
Yeah, different price point. This is going to be more accessible to, I think, a lot more people. But this is more like you drink this on the rocks. You can mix it. It's a whole lot of things you can do with this. Which I love.
Now, when you talk about the liquids, like what was the process of you choosing the right notes in this particular blend of Jamaican rum? Like, were you there? Like, okay, let me have little notes of this, a little cinnamon. Like, what was your vision of what you wanted it to taste like?
So we went through a taste test. We recorded 3 different episodes, Jake and I, and then he botched the last file. So we just got hammered for no reason. I mean, we got the data, but we got hammered for no reason because we wanted to put that one out. And I think we taste tested, 24 or 26 different bottles of rum.
Wow.
Low price points, higher end. And we graded them all. Smoothness, mixability, drinking it neat, drinking it chilled. And just to see where the price point was, what you're getting, the flavor profile. And we kind of had an idea of where we want to go. And pretty much all the Jamaican rums were the ones that I liked the most.
Yeah.
And we gave the guys who blended it, like the ones we liked the most, and they're like, okay, we got what you're looking for.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a couple of different blends. I think we went through like 9 different samples. Damn. And yeah, so it was a fun process.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you're like, that one's all right, but it's not that great. This one's really good. This one, the price point is a little bit too expensive. We don't want to sell it for that. So we came and decided on this one, and this one is one that I'm very happy about.
Okay,
So,
let's crack it open.
let's crack it open, baby. Let's go.
Okay, I'm excited for this. I always love supporting, fellow. Ooh, that smells good.
It ain't no Bacardi. It ain't no Captain Morgan.
Shit,
Ain't no Sailor Jerry, bro. We've done a lot of these taste tests, and we're just like, all right, these are solid. The white rum is really good as well. We have one called Ray and Nephew. That's a very popular Jamaican brand. And that one's like 63 proof, overproof white rum.
63%.
Yeah, which is nuts. But our Jamaican people drink those on the rocks, or they just drink it straight up, which is just crazy to me.
Cheers, brother.
Salute.
Ooh.
And it drinks like a bourbon, which is nice.
That's very smooth.
It's smooth.
That is very fucking smooth.
See? Mike, you want
something, Mike?
Come on. Don't be shy.
We try not to give Mike on anything, just keep him focused.
Keep him on his toes.
Dude, that is really actually fucking smooth.
Thank you.
Like, I can actually drink that and not feel. Usually when you have certain drinks, like there's a bitter taste, there's a bite at the end of it, right? It's like, this is actually very fucking smooth.
That's legitimate.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting like,
I'm not a drinker at all.
so typically how I like to taste my alcohol is like, I'll take it. My neighbor, he works at a liquor store. And so when I went over to his house, he goes, let me teach you how to taste a drink, right?
Like swirl it around.
You swirl it around, you put it in your mouth, you swish it in your mouth, and you get it through your teeth, you let your palate, your tongue, let it sit there, and then you swallow it. That's the first one. And then you put it in your mouth again, you swish it around, you swallow it, and then you you bring all the oxygen in, and all the oxygen kind of like brings like another notes in your palate, on your tongue. And then that's when you tell. When I did the first time, I was like, wow, this is actually really smooth. There was no burn or anything like that. So cheers again, brother. Good for you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm having no sip of this shit.
Gotta get one for your pops too, especially if he likes rum. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's been my passion project, man. I know there was some people.
Yeah, that's what I there. Yeah, I love that. I love when the oxygen just hits that tongue. Good for you, man. That's really, really good. Yeah. Where can we pick this up at? Like, I'm gonna get a bottle from my dad. Where can we get this?
FunkHarborRum.shop.
.shop. So it's only online, not
only online right now.
Okay.
We had a couple of retail stores purchased in Long Island.
Okay.
We're trying to get distribution here in Nevada. It's a very interesting system. The way the U.S. is set up is there's a 3-tier system. With that said, this 3-tier system, you have to have an importer or wholesaler or / distributor. Yep. They then sell to the retailers or the liquor stores or the venues and nightclubs, and they then sell to the customers. So it's this 3-channel before you get paid, which is just like,
it's crazy.
You're scratching your head like, why can't I just sell direct to them? But since the prohibition, it's kind of been like that, and it's something I've been talking to with Cask and Barrel. They're our direct to consumer right now operators, and they were like, this is something that's been outdated for decades and just needs to go away and change. Because other countries, they could just go sell right to a consumer. Like, you just come to the distillery and pick it up.
Wow, and
get a crazy profit margin.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy because I've never known what it's like to, I know GSP, he made a vodka, whatever.
Did he really?
He did. It's called like, I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's a vodka.
Was it good?
I'm not a vodka fan, man. I'm not. And I'm honestly, I'm not a red fan, but this is actually delicious. I would drink this. I'm a tequila guy, but this is actually really fucking good. Like I would drink this. And it's always cool like to see athletes from my timeline to do different things. That's the biggest thing I always tell people is that you have, and this is from Dana White, you have a short amount of time to make as much money as possible, right? And then after that, you invest it, you do it in this, and to see you be able to manifest this product, get your label on it, go, and it's produced in Jamaica, right? Jamaica.
Well, the rum is from Jamaica.
The rum is
but
from
it was
Jamaica.
bottled. This line, this run was bottled and distilled in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but
And
that
the
rum is from the motherland of Jamaica.
The motherland of Jamaica.
Exactly, right? And so it's
Got my
kind of
little
cool
signature on the back.
just to see that and to have a bottle here and be able to have some of it. So I'm a supporter. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get your goddamn rum at this, man. Where they give out at?
Funk Harbor Rum.
Funk Harbor
Dot
Rum.
shop.
.shop. Hopefully it's in all of the major, what's the biggest one where I live? Total Wine. That's where.
Total Wines is, we're trying to reach out to those guys. Hopefully this week we can make some type of contact to discuss pricing and everything. And then hopefully we'll be off and running here in Nevada and hopefully get everything up and running in New York. We're ready. We can sell in New York. We can sell in Florida, Cali, but we want to spread the love a little bit.
What about a nightclub? Like what's the process of getting a nightclub? Like, let's say, hey.
We could.
Oh, you could?
Well, New York, Florida, Cali, and New Jersey for right now. Like any nightclub could pick it up.
Yep.
The only issue that we're having right now is if we want to get into other states like Nevada or Texas, we would have to get with a distributor like a Southern or Breakthrough or Total Wines and then go about it like that.
Gotcha. Okay, well, congrats on this, man. I can't wait to see where you go. Let's talk about another side quest. You've been doing a lot more grappling lately, right? You did the Polaris, you did 80XC, and then you also did Karate Combat.
Yes, and Fury Grappling.
And Fury Grappling.
With the butt scooter.
With the butt scooters, right? What is giving you the, I guess you say, well, let me take a step back. So obviously, when you're in the UFC, you're under contract. You can't just go out and do whatever the fuck you want, right? Like, you can't do another mixed martial arts fight. But you're out there. Look at this fucking. This man out here grappling. Aljo, you just grappled. What the fuck? You're like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I thought it was okay. It was just grapple match. Next time, just ask. You're basically doing it and ask for forgiveness instead of ask for permission, right? Or I don't know the situation, but how are you getting all these fucking opportunities?
They just be hitting me up, bro.
Who?
These people. I'm just
No,
like,
I mean they do, but like
what's up?
when they hit you up, like, is there anything you have to go say? Like, I got to go ask, like if I got hit up to go grapple somewhere. It's not an easy like, oh yeah, let me go do it. I have to go I got to look at my contract, go talk to Chatri, got to talk to everybody. I'm like, hey, can I go do this? I'm sure they'll say yes, but I don't want to go through all that trouble. But for you, it's like, one day I see you do Karate Combat. Next day I see you in fucking Abu Dhabi. I'm like, this motherfucker ain't even fighting anymore. He just grapple motherfuckers.
I mean, it's not a bad life. I'm trying to collect these stars, man, GTA style. But it's been fun, man. Just they reach out to me. Fury, I have a great relationship with Rob Haydak, Aries Garcia, and whenever they have something, an opportunity that makes sense within the timeline, like I used that one to kind of jumpstart my camp for Calvin Kattar. I did the Dantzler match. It was barely a match. The guy just he left his snail trail of his ass cheeks all over the mat.
Yep.
And when I dragged him by his foot, and then I did the match with Chase Hooper, which was a lot more fun and entertaining. And then I fought Kattar, and then I had another break, and then the Polaris one was after the O'Malley fight. Yep. I was on vacation. I had no business being in there with Mike Grundy.
Damn.
The guy is a tank. When he grabbed me, he snapped me down to my face.
Yeah.
I always try to do that to people because it's just one of the funniest. It's just like one of those things, like if you put a kid in a ballroom and you just drop the bag on them. You drop the tea on them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's nothing you could do. You're my bitch.
Yeah.
Right now. Just allow your shoulders to touch the mat so this could end sooner than later for you. Otherwise, you're going to be squirming in there like, get him out my face. So I did that match with Grundy, but I was drinking the whole time. I was like, dude, I hope you guys know there's a high possibility that I might puke mid-match. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
But he took it very serious, and I felt like I almost disrespected him a little bit because I was like, man, I wish I gave him a better version of myself. But whatever, I came out with the nod. It was a very close match. But that kind of sparked it even more, and I was like, you know what? After that, I did the Dantzler, then I did the Chase Hooper match, and then recently I did the Karate Combat match. Asim just hit me up, Coach Ed, was just like, yo, I got a match for you. And I was like, okay. I was like, how much you want?
Yeah.
I was like, we got to talk the price tag.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to do this, because I'm like, I obviously have a fight coming up and my birthday is literally the next week. So I didn't really want to do it. I'm like, dude, I don't really want to be training right now. I kind of want to enjoy my summer while I can, because once I'm in camp, I'm going to be hard in the paint. Yeah. I'm still going to have my drink here and there, but I'm still going to be hard in the paint. Yep. So I did the match. I wanted to help him out. He's such a good dude. He does a lot for his fighters. Yeah. And he hosted me and Dennis a bunch of different times coming down to Miami. And Dean Thomas trains down there too. He goes out there for Jillian. So it's just nice. I like to help people that help me, man.
Of course,
you know what it is?
1000%.
You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Yeah. And good people. Like, he seems to me to be a good person. He had a great opportunity for me. The kid J.J. Wilson, he trains down at ATT. I would imagine he trained with Mosar. So I was like, well, he's a 55er. Let me see how I do with another 55er and just kind of test where I'm at. Yeah. And it was a tough match, man, but I was able to push through in overtime, even though that was a bullshit takedown point that they gave him. But it helped me push the metal to the floor, and then I was able to just pass his guard into mount, and I was able to take his back and win the match.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
It was like 1 second left, if that.
I remember that. It was like, bam, you got it. And it was like, and that got you the W for that grappling match. Yeah. I just love seeing athletes. Like I always say every single time, this is the best time to be a fan of combat sports, right? Because if I enjoy watching you fight mixed martial arts, right? And the only time I actually see you compete or do anything is if you're fighting in the octagon. But to see you be able to go out in Abu Dhabi, do ADXC. I watched that fight with you, Chase Hooper. And then you do Karate Combat. It's like I get more of an opportunity to see my favorite fighter compete, right? Like imagine if Izzy was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go kickboxing this weekend. Oh, you know what? 2 months later, I think I'm going to go do a submission grappling match. Oh, you know what? A month later, I'm going to go do MMA again, right? It's giving the fighters two things. One, to keep on continuing to build their brand outside of their home of mixed martial arts. And two, it gives you an opportunity to make a couple bucks here, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. And then when it's time to fight again for the UFC 1 championship, whatever it may be, you're going to make that fat ass check in, right? Yeah. And so it seems like you're enjoying it. You're having a good time. You were the former world champion at 135. Now you're making a new state in 145. You powerbomb homeboy. People want to see that same action again. You did. You powerbomb over her. Right?
I know. And credit to Dana White actually giving me props. I was like, wow, Dana giving me flowers right now. I wiped a tear. I was like, we've come a long way, man.
Well, my boys are watching it. They're like, oh, Dad, he just fucking powerbombed him in a fight. I was like, he was like, can you do that? Is this Russell? I was like, no, that motherfucker's strong. He picked him up and slammed him. I was like, you do whatever you want in MMA as long as you don't eye gouge and,
Yeah, you can't spike him, though.
You can't spike him. Actually, you can't spike. There's no...
Out of submission. But you can't, do a takedown and straight up just spike him on his head.
So you
From what I was told.
Okay, so you can't spike, but you can spike if you're trying to get out of submission.
Out of submission, yeah. Where like you hold on to that arm bar, I can pick your ass up
and throw you down. Gotcha. But you can't just go, tombstone a motherfucker.
Yeah. That's why when that Kevin Dancer kid had the arm bar and I started swinging him around like a helicopter, I'm like, bro, I would kill you right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you think this is something? Yeah. Let me show you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. Well, the funniest thing about that is that I wake up and I'm like going through Instagram.
Did you just get warm?
What do you mean?
From this? Just put some hair on my chest.
Yeah, no, it feels good. It tastes good. I don't drink anymore. So this is the first time I had to drink in probably like 2.5 months, 3 months. So
wow.
It's good. I remember waking up and I see you with a motherfucker on your arm and you just swinging back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck is Aljo doing? I was like, did I miss something? And then I watched the whole fight. I was like, oh, he did a jiu-jitsu competition. And then you talking shit. He goes, this motherfucker screwed his ass. And everyone's like, boo. He goes, yeah, boo me. Fuck you. You didn't say fuck you, but I know you wanted to say it. But it's an interesting thing where you spike people. When you powerbomb him, it was just to, you were trying to pass his guard? Or no, he shot in and then you grabbed underneath him and then you lift him up.
Who's that? Kattar?
Kattar, yes.
No, so he reversed. He finally did something on the ground.
Oh, God.
Because he kind of just held me in a stalemate position where trapped my arms. And then people are like, you need to do more damage. I'm like, dude, what do you think I would like to do more damage. But if my opponent does not allow me to do that, what am I supposed to do? Just try to stand up and let him just stand up? No. If I pull out, he's going to get up. Yeah. And that would just be the dumbest thing ever, So of course, I'm going to do what I'm given. I had to work with what I was given. So he finally did something. I forgot I was passing, and then I forgot what I was trying, but then he was able to get to like an underhook position, came up to a single, he wrestled up, and then I stuffed his head.
Yep.
And that was one of the techniques I show him, the MMA wrestling class we do back in Long Island. I was like, when a guy gets here, he shoots a single, if he reaches across, he just signed his... That should be a death sentence right there.
Yeah.
Because he's driving in, his arms are locked, you stuffed his head, he has nowhere to go other than to go belly down and just try to flatten yourself out like a pancake, just go limp.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go limp, you're getting picked up. And we show this one, you pick them up by the chest where you feel so much pressure on this cavity. You could go by the waist, but then they become a little top heavy. So you go by the chest where you could just pick them up and show them what's up.
And slam
And
power
slam 'em.
style.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
I love it. Man, I like you going down to 145 instead of 135. Not that I have my opinion fucking matters, because I'm a fanboy. I'm an analyst now. I watch fights and I see where people can do their best. And I felt when you fought Kattar, right?
Yeah.
Kattar, we worked a little bit and you took literally no damage from one of the guys who, like when he fought Shane
Burgos, yeah.
Burgos, they were going back and forth. And me always talking about what's the easiest way to victory with the least resistance, right? And you didn't take any damage in that fight.
Yeah.
Not. I don't think you got clocked. You probably didn't suffer concussion in the fist fight, and you took no damage. I think where you're at now in your career, 35 years old, going down to 145, it's a weight class that fits you, because a lot of people don't realize how big you truly are. Like when I first met you in the outlets, I got to say, I was like, Jesus Christ, you're fucking massive. And you make 135, and my son was like, who's that? I was like, a motherfucker I wouldn't let on my back, because he gonna walk up them ashy ass legs in a body triangle, and I'm gonna get ground and pounded. I think it's a better fit for you. I think it brings fresh blood to 145. Right? I feel at one point it was always Max Holloway. Max Holloway fighting all these guys. Now you have Ilya Topuria. They have you. You still have a couple of those guys who are still around. Max is still around. But I think you bring in the funk, somebody who's very good at grappling, who's good at mixing it up, going southpaw the orthodox or the high kick, going lateral, looking for your shot.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think now we have, in terms of former champs and current champs, is Topuria, Max,
Volkanovski,
Volk, and now me.
Yep.
I don't think there's any other former champs in that division right now.
Yeah, I think you're... Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I count that.
I think that's probably the most stacked division when it comes to former champions. I mean, you look at 135.
135 used to have, I think it was 7 or 8 at a time. Yeah. It was myself.
Yep.
Piorian.
Yep.
Jose Aldo.
Yep.
Uriah Faber. Dominic Cruz.
Yep. TJ
Dillashaw. Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm missing one, but
yeah, that is pretty fucking stacked.
that was a stacked division where it's just like, yo, bro, this is a killer's division.
Any 7 of those guys could be champion or were champion at one point in time, right? I think
Cody Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt, that's right. Oh, good Cody.
Yeah.
It's very
Sorry,
interesting.
Cody.
No, I love Cody.
No, we didn't mean it.
I know that he's got a new tattoo. I was
like, bro, what the fuck?
I always love Instagram because, not Instagram, but the internet. The internet's undefeated, right? And then they posted a picture of Cody and TJ Dillashaw. Like, TJ Dillashaw has all these tattoos now. He's really dealing with his shoulder injuries. And then you have Cody. He's been on like a losing streak, so he's got a tattoo here. And it was like, man, there has to be something to do with when people start losing their fights. They start just getting random tattoos. But, but
the internet is harsh. Bro, I just got attacked for using the wrong word with apartheid and slavery in South Africa. I'm like, yo, bro. I'm like, you guys are mad at me for what people said to me. Like, they would use the word interchangeably, and then I just accidentally use it. So I'm like, my bad, bro. Like, I can actually own when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like the end of the world. I'm like, dude, clearly you knew what I was talking about.
Of course, yeah.
So why do you have to attack me as if I'm a complete like degenerate moron type thing? I was like, but this is just internet. They want their like moment of like, oh, I proved him. I sure told him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, dude.
I hear from him all the fucking time when I say somebody's name wrong. I'm like, Alex Pereira. He goes, it's Pereira. Then I'm like, Pajeda. He goes, no, you're saying it wrong. Or I get something wrong. And I was like, God damn it, Michael. And then he goes, I just don't understand how you get names wrong. And I was like, you know how many people get my fucking name wrong? He goes, are you serious? What, Demetrious? That's hard. I was like, bitch, I just went to the airport and a motherfucker called me Demetrianus. And I was like, she said, Demetrianus? I was like, it's actually Demetrius. And then Destiny goes, I bet you like that, huh? And I was like, what, Demetrianus? I was like, yeah, it's not like a fucking Autobot, right? And so it is what it is. I mean, you can never get everything right. So
Demetrianus.
Yeah.
Roll out.
It's better than when you say, like, remember the Jake Paul, Mike Perry, you kept, like, flopping.
I kept getting them fucking mixed up, man. When I was covering the fight, I was like, Jake Paul's doing this. And I'm like, and Michael's like, you mean Mike Perry? And I was like, fuck. And I'm like, Mike Perry.
He said the wrong one. It's like, dude.
It was hard. That's why he gets paid the big bucks to fucking edit correctly.
It's just funny because I feel like as people of, what do you call it? Like, I hate using the word celebrity. It just sounds weird. Like, I don't even like referring to myself as that because
you're a celebrity.
It's just a weird term for me to just put myself in that category.
Yeah.
But in terms of someone of influence, I feel people forget that we're still
human
people. Like,
yeah.
Like, so you don't think it's possible for someone like myself to make him as, you're using your platform irresponsibly. I'm like,
first off, it's my platform. I can dictate how I use it, however I want. It's up to you. I remember Kevin Hart talked about this, and he said, people think I have a responsibility to put out there what they want to see.
Yes.
But you have to remember, this is my platform. I can dictate what I want to put out there. It's your responsibility to dictate if you want to watch what I do. When you hit follow, you're accepting the responsibility to see what I want you to see. Right. And whenever he said that to me, I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right. Like, I have a platform and I'm going to use my platform to express my morals, my value, what I believe is right. Right. I'm not going to like repost somebody beating their fucking kid because I don't believe in that. Right. So when people say you have a responsibility, Aljo, to make sure you use all your punctuation and your dot your I's and your fucking cross your T's. No, you don't.
Yeah. Like that event, because I'm going to talk about it on my podcast too, but we were talking about apartheid, but I called it slavery by accident. I called it slavery by accident. Which, to be fair,
what's a pipe?
Apartheid just means it's separate.
Okay,
but not equal. So me explaining this, I'm like, guys, 30 years ago, which is valid. I think it was over in 1990 or 1994.
So I'm 8 years old. You're probably
I'm 35. So I go, I would have been born into that. Yeah. So the premise of what I was saying was still accurate.
Yeah.
I just used the wrong damn word. I was like, guys, cut me some slack. Yeah. I'm a professional fighter.
Yeah.
I'm not a history teacher. Yeah. Like, you can't expect me to have all the, like, there were some reasonable comments. And I'm like, thank you for being reasonable to understand, to go, I think the word you meant was apartheid, but I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you for being a reasonable person.
Don't try to one up me, motherfucker.
That's all it is. Oh, you're stupid. You're a moron. You get, the MALLEY fight must have really did a number on you. Oh, what did Marlon Moreno? I'm like, gosh, like, you guys couldn't wait for something to get wrong so you could say something. I'm like, dude, it's not that deep. All I was saying, I was just talking on the premise of how toxic that rivalry was between him and DDP, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like that Izzy was dropping the N-bomb like that on international TV when they were in the octagon. It was tough. And then, of course, I'm African, you're not really African. It's just like they both had some truths, and there were some things that I felt like they could have explained a little bit better, and not make it as, because I felt like no matter what, it was going to cause separation and divide. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. Like, of course, they had their apartheid that just ended not too long ago, which we had something similar with, like, the Jim Crow laws and all that. But I'm not a fucking history teacher, bro. I'm just talking about how bad it was. That's all I was getting. My point still remains. It was fucking fucked up. That's it. That's all I was trying to get at.
Well, like I said, the people who sit behind a screen on the keyboard, they're sitting there just looking for their not their claim to fame, but just to interact.
They're waiting on their moment.
Exactly.
Waiting on that.
and I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, the thing about mixed martial artists is that we're so accessible to the public, right? Like, we're so accessible, and we build our brand by interacting with the public. And I think naturally, right? And I think when we do that, when you interact with people in the public, you're going to get that riffraff for those assholes who are just going to try to belittle you. And as one of my favorite fighters from the WC era, Danny Castillo, he says, you know what, motherfuckers? When you wake up, you gotta go to work. Me, I get to lay in my bed and look at my bank count and look at all these zeros. So to that, ladies and gentlemen,
Danny,
yeah, he did that because he fought, and everybody was booing him.
The last call.
He goes, you fucking boo me? He goes, you fucking boo me? Good luck on Monday when you go back to fucking work. And he said it, and I was like, you know, he's fucking right. Good luck, go back to work on Monday, you pieces of shit. Who's booing him? Because he won the fight. But nobody was happy how he won, but he got the W.
Yeah.
And he said that, and I was like, you're so right. And he goes, it's the truth. He goes, I'm out here fighting my ass off. And, you know, your boy Ala Quinta did the exact same thing. You know, he went a different route. But it's the fucking truth.
That
right?
kid
like,
Damien just did that the other day
that's
from
right.
B-Team.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I was like, oh, man.
You know what? It is what it is.
It hits a different nerve, though. Like, when your adrenaline is pumping and then you actually are in it, you're just like, I can't believe you ungrateful motherfuckers. You feel like Denzel Washington in Training Day.
Put a case on all you bitches.
All you good motherfuckers getting cases.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But I do think, not to bring a fighter pay, but I think there's some type of, I'm trying to make sure I use the correct words here.
Just say it, dog.
Because we aren't paid the way an NBA or NFL team, MLB, soccer, MLS, because they're paid so significantly more. They don't have to worry about doing this stuff to build their brand per se.
1,000%.
Where for us, we need to engage to get people to understand, because we only get seen on TV for that 15 minutes and then we're gone to the abyss for maybe a couple of months.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's not the easiest thing to build a fan base and a following unless you're doing the active stuff outside of the cage.
1,000%.
And it's you got to be good in the ring. You got to be good on the mic. There's so much things you got to be good at in order to gain traction with the fans out here. And it's hard work. It's not the easiest. No. But I'm not complaining about it, but it's not the easiest. This is why the other sports, they don't really have to worry about any of that other stuff.
And that's why we're so accessible. Do you think LeBron James is going to do a fucking meet and greet before he plays basketball?
At International Fight Week?
No, he's not. Like, and you're 1,000%. Like, that's one thing that I think makes our sport, it's a bad thing and it's also a good thing. We're accessible to the fans so they get to know us and they get to see us and interact with us, right? But at the same time, we don't make as much money as LeBron James or even fucking golfers or whatever you may say, because if you sign a contract, you make $80 million. Like, let's say you sign a contract with the UFC and goes, hey, Aljo, you're going to fight 10 times. You're going to get $40 million up front, guaranteed. And you owe us, those 10 fights. And every single fight you break it down, you get the rest of their cash, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to feel obligated to do. It's the truth.
No, I agree with you.
It's 1,000%. You get to do things you want to do. Like, you know what? Like, hey, I'm going to do a backpack drive. And when I do that, I'm going to have everybody come out there. I'll sign some autographs, whatever. It's not going to be, because I've been in your shoes. I'm still am in your shoes. If somebody calls, hey, Aljo, we got an opportunity for you to come out and sign some autographs for $5,000 cash. You're like, Becca, pack your fucking bags. We're going. And grab a case of Funk Harbor too. Like, we're just looking for every opportunity to make money and interact with our fan base, which I see there's nothing wrong with that. But I think in the full context of things, how we're so accessible, how we get belittled on the internet, where it's like, this motherfucker doesn't know the difference between slavery and, what's that word?
Apartheid,
right? Like, that's just part of the game that we're in.
But even by definition, and even from the conversation I've had because people are trying to say you never had conversations with South Africans that were using it interchangeably. I'm like, yeah, because you were in the fucking room. You were in the goddamn room. So you know for sure. I'm like, I think stupid that I would know the difference between the words. I'm like, you think I would call it slavery if I didn't know?
Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
But even to go back to that point, it's just like even when I did that grappling match at Polaris, like while I'm on vacation, in my head, I'm like, dude, I don't need to do this. Yeah. But this does pay for the vacation.
Why not? So I'm at a point in my now.
I just don't like losing, bro.
I know, but see, losing,
especially when it's when you're not at your best.
Yeah, I know.
Like the O'Malley fight, I know I wasn't at my best. The Polaris match, if I had lost that to Grundy, I'd have been pissed. Yeah, more pissed because I know I wasn't at my best, and that's annoying.
But here's the thing: you proved that you're the best in the world. You proved that.
Well, I'm not trying to be the first.
I know that.
I'm not respect to El Kukui.
Yeah.
But I ain't trying to be that guy going on a skid.
Yeah, but just let me just keep it here, okay? Let me have some more of this delicious, rum, okay? Let's just talk about this, okay? You want some more? You want training again, okay? Let's talk about this. This is something I've always wanted to talk about, okay? You have proved you're the best in the world, right? You've been a world champion. You've had the gold. You've been on, you come to Las Vegas. Oh, shit, we're so excited to go see the champion Aljamain Sterling fight. You drive on, where the fucking freeway is here, and you see your face on the poster, right? You done made it.
Which is still so, like...
It's surreal. Like,
it's very surreal.
Let's cheers to that. It's surreal, right? Like, we drive down...
You've been on many main events.
I've been on main events. Right? It's so surreal. So there's been a point in time in your career, in your athletic career, where you're the best in the world. Not just once, but multiple times. You different about how many times?
3.
3 times. So 3 times you've headlined or co-main event and you prove that you're the best in the world. There is going to come a point in time where you're not going to be the best in the world, right? Same with me. And I think you're right. Faber told me there's only a short amount of time that we could be a professional athlete and be able to compete, to do Polaris, to do ADXC, to do credit combat. So going into those, I'm thinking like, man, what if I lose? What if I lose? I'm not at my best. Who gives a fuck? I'm enjoying my time. You've proven you've been the best.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I'm like, I was a champion for 6 years in the UFC. I went over there, won championship. I won the tournament, won that belt. Then I got knocked the fuck out. Fought Rodtang, won the belt, defended the belt. And now I'm like, man, I still want to compete more. But I don't want to take any more concussions. I don't want to go through a long 8 or 9, 10 week camp. But I'd love to do like, oh, fuck it, you know what, honey? Let's go to Miami, do ADXC. Or no, let's go to, do Miami, do karate combat. Why the fuck not? And I lose. Everybody's like, you fucking suck. I'm like, no, I don't care. I just want to have fun and enjoy my athletic career, whatever years I have left. So that's like my mindset. Like when I see you, it's almost an inspiration to see you do those grappling events because it's like, it's not your main butter. Like you're just doing it because you're having a good time. And I think it's important.
Yeah, it is. I get what you're saying, but it is like, even for the guys we compete against, they're like, they want to beat you.
Of course they do.
And then at the same time, I'm like, I also don't want to lose to you.
Yeah, I know.
Because as a competitor, I'm just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just like, I overthink it too much, but because otherwise I would just grapple all the time. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, if I'm doing this, I'm coming for the bag. Yeah. I'm coming to be at the top of the podium to look down at my peasants. Yeah. I'm like, you tried really hard today. Yo, where I grew up from, bro, we talk shit. We're just different. Even if it's like playful. Like obviously I'm saying that cheek and tongue. Like,
of course.
But like I respect everyone who competes. But at the same time,
I ain't beating me.
I'm here to let you know, like, what's up, baby?
Yeah. I think it's so hard because for me, like, when I had my first, like, I've never tapped out in any competition. I tapped out to
that sounds awful.
I know. But it was okay. I was happy. I was truly happy.
Wait, you tapped out when?
I did open weight pants. He was a heavyweight.
Okay, yeah.
He was a heavyweight champion.
Oh, the big motherfucker.
The big motherfucker, right? But at the same time, I was happy. I was like, I tapped out. My son was there. And I think I have an important role as a father to my son where he's 11 years old, he started to navigate like his emotions. And if he loses, he goes, I fucking suck. I'm like, no, you don't.
That's rough. That's tough.
I know. So when I tapped out, I was like, fuck, I'm going to try it. And I was like, I tap. And I got done. I go, fuck. And everybody just started laughing. And they were like, wow, you have so much personality in jiu-jitsu. I was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like you laughed that you got tapped out. And I was like, yeah. I'm fucking mad because there's only 30 seconds left and I was fucking winning. But at the same time, I'm like, it felt like a huge relief or stress because I tell everybody like now I'm a weekend warrior, right? Meaning like I'm super good shape, I'm athletic, and I go to these tournaments and I compete on the weekend. I'm a badass on the weekend. And then on Monday, I'm just a fucking, all right, let's make content, right? And I think, I don't know, I just find it's a breath of fresh air just to sit back and just, I'm gonna go grapple. Like if I go, I grappled Brandon Moreno. And the first thing we did, former flyweight champion in the UFC, former flyweight champion of the UFC, aka the GOAT. As
I
people say,
wish
right?
I wish I was there for that.
And the first
Because I'd have been talking shit to Cole.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you gonna let him do that? You gonna let him do that to you? TJ, you gonna let him? Brandon, you gonna let him do that? Ay, caramba.
See, you don't have a motherfucker like this in the room, right? Because he gonna raise the stake. But
I'm gonna be.
But the first
that's
thing,
just what I do, baby.
But the first thing I did to him, I was like, go ahead, tap me out, just so we could break the.
Break the ice,
get the jitters out, right? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, just go ahead, submit me, right? Because I didn't care about beating him. I was more focused on how did he move? Even when I went with you, like, there's a little nerves because I haven't been sparring as much, but I was like, I just want to feel Aljo. I want to feel his tendencies, how he moves. What does he do? And like, that's just something that like I find more satisfying than trying to be like, if me and you grappled and we're going, and let's say you're just smashing me, you're just, Jesus Christ, DJ, you get my back, you're backpacking me. I'm not gonna walk away from the exchange or our training session like, fuck, man, I fucking suck. Man, I'm so glad I'm not in his division. I'm like, wow, Aljo's really good. Like, he's got really good back tape. I really like how you did that. Or if it's vice versa, if I'm fucking you up, I'm pushing your shit in, I'm gonna go home like, yeah, I would have fucked him up. He's a good thing. I'm no. I would walk away like, wow, man, my knowledge and my curriculum is still strong. Getting across the void or smashing his guard, like it's like I have a different a viewpoint where everybody now. I'm not speaking for you. Where I feel like everybody in the realm of social media or Instagram or YouTube, they're trying to belittle somebody and post and like get views off of like, oh, look at me smash a former UFC champion. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel it. Where for me, it's like, I just like enjoying just learning and being exposed to different things.
But that's honestly one of my biggest like things with training with some of the Russian guys. Cause sometimes sometimes they will be recording and I feel like I just can't have a bad moment. Yeah. Because they take that and run with it.
Oh, of course.
Cause I got submitted by Askarov one time before my neck surgery.
Yep.
And he fucked up my neck because it was so sensitive. Any type of guillotine or any position that I would get in when someone cranked on my neck, the next 2 to 4 days, I was like just out of commission, just walking like, I can't move. That's how painful it was. And that was, I think, before the on fight, the first or the second. I think it was the first. And I was contemplating pulling out the fight. I didn't. He submits me with this like choke in his guard.
Yep.
So as I'm going to pass, I put my head down and he does some like ninja choke. He catches it, but I can't even fight out of it because I'm just like, dude, if I try to survive, my neck is wrecked.
Yeah.
And even though he put it on and I like try to see if I can move a little bit, just that 2-3 seconds of me trying to do that, neck's still wrecked.
Yeah.
Submits me. I hear people telling me about in articles and people telling me about how he submitted me in training. I'm just like, guys, come on, man. This is training, dude. And I don't like that because I don't go boasting about training. Yeah. But I will like for shits and giggles with friends, like, yeah, I fucked that motherfucker up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like just being funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go like to like a media outlet type thing and be like, he's like, I don't know. That type of stuff is weird. And not all those guys do that. Yeah. But sometimes I get weary about training with certain people because I'm like, dude,
you're worried about that.
I feel if I let my guard down to be vulnerable, to train with you, to just try to get better, that I might put myself in a position where now people are gonna be talking shit. Like even someone talks shit about Merab on social media because a guy hit like a throw on him, and it was like an ippon. It was judo, and judo would be an ippon, would be a 5-pointer. We're in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Not Abu Dhabi, Dubai, getting ready for the TJ fight, and we just finished training, and Merab and this guy from I think Uzbekistan, they're grappling. He's a 35er as well, and you might have seen it circulate on Instagram or whatnot. But he hits Merab and them going at it. Blah, blah, blah. Merab is not really a wrestler, but so he gets in a position and the kid hits like this throw and takes Merab down from the throw. Like it would have been an ippon. It wasn't a takedown, but it was a take. Yeah. So then people were like commenting and saying all this stuff. So I said something, I was like, guys, this is just training. Both guys were just having a good training session and just testing each other. It wasn't anything like, oh, this is serious competition. We're not trying to. So I get bothered by stuff like that because at the end of the day, you should be willing to lose in training to get better. Yeah. But in a situation like you and Moreno, like if I was there in the corner, I'm gonna be sitting there talking mad shit.
You gonna let him do that to you? You gonna let him do that to the champ? You're supposed to be going to flyweight division. Well, I will say this. I think that's what ruins training culture.
Yeah.
right? Like it's a culture to be able to, for me to share knowledge with you and you to share knowledge with me. Right? There's no ego. I want to learn from you. Like if I'm going with you, I'm like, wow, Aljo, what the fuck was that? You did that very well. If you're like, damn, D, like how you ever do that? And it's not that I'm better than you. It's just I've had more exposure than you have, or you have more exposure than I have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what ruins the culture of training, because I should be able to go train with you. And let's say you're just pushing my shit in and we post a video on YouTube. It shouldn't be like, oh man, DJ was never good. I was like, wow. It should be looking at it as a positive, like, wow, DJ's getting a good opportunity to see that level of exposure. Like I've been submitted more as a black belt than I was a brown belt. Like a blue belt submitted me with the ankle lock. And then he got me an ankle lock and I was like, tap, tap. And he goes, you're going to tap to that? I was like, yeah, motherfucker, because I want to walk tomorrow. That's why. Yeah, I can try to fight you and try to muscle out and do whatever, but I don't have an ego. Like
he was probably so disappointed. Like, damn, I really want him to...
he knew, but he was like, damn, D, I know you tapped it. I was like, yeah, because I got to walk.
No, I'm saying in hindsight, but he was probably in his head like, oh, let me see if I can get him.
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
when you tap, he's probably like, this motherfucker tap to that shit.
Yo, yeah. It was like,
come on,
what
man.
a fucking letdown piece of shit.
Like, I want to earn that, you know?
But I just think that the training culture, that's one of the things that I regret and I don't regret in my time in my mixed martial arts career. Is like, I never trained with anybody. The first person I trained with was Henry Cejudo. And I was later in my career and won championship. And then now I'm training with everybody. I've trained with you. I've trained with Mikey. I've trained with Brendan Moreno now. And I can't wait to keep on training with more people because I'm just getting so much exposure.
I love it. I love training with other people.
Yeah.
Who is it? John Kavanagh at SBG gym over there with Conor McGregor and those guys. We met in Liverpool when I was a guest fighter. Wonder Boy versus Darren Till. And we drunk wrestled each other in the lobby. And it was so funny. I still have this on video. It's hilarious. Like, I took my shirt off. He's pulling guard. Yeah. He's like trying to do like an ashi. I'm passing. It's so funny. And then I told him like, yo, dude, we were planning to come to Ireland. It would be an honor if we could come down and come train. Came down, train with this guy. I was still on one.
Yeah.
I was, like when I go on vacation, bro, I'm there to have fun.
Good job. Yeah.
And that's what I meant. That kid that was like the younger McGregor, like he wanted to be the McGregor. The next, he fought for Bellator. I forget his name. I follow him. I just forget his name. 35er. Whatever.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Irish kid.
Yeah, Irish kid.
He's solid back control.
Yep.
But there was a position where I had him. He had me he had my back. And I think he got a little flustered because he couldn't like submit me. So he started like punching me. The way I remember it was James Gallagher punched me a bit harder than
you would like.
Then I would like, and then I would think in a position like that for training purposes. Yeah. Like, dude, we're not actually fighting for a world championship here. Yeah, we're just training.
Yep.
And then when I had his back, it was like I showed like, dude, I could do the same exact thing to you.
Yep.
But I'm showing you experience. I'm showing you maturity.
Yep.
And how to train with people the proper way. Like yeah, you're probably like, I'm annoyed or frustrated, whatever. But I'm like, dude, I'm here on vacation. Like, yeah. I don't even need to be here right now.
Yeah.
I could just come watch and then go home.
Yep.
Like, I'm at least giving you a look. And I forget where I was even going with that, but I just love training with people. Yeah. And also, Kavanagh told me, he was like, you're like a real Ronin. Like, you've been literally everywhere at all these different gyms.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, man, like, not one coach has all the answers.
Yeah.
Not one gym has all the answers.
Not one person, one athlete has all the answers.
Yeah. Everyone moves. And I think DDP, Dricus du Plessis, is the prime example that in MMA, almost the most absurd of techniques can work.
Yep.
And it's good to see all those things because you get exposed to it. And I think that's what it's all about, just learning different ways. And I think that's the biggest lesson that you could get from this sport. And that's why I love it, because I've been able to travel the world, meet all these great people, train with all these great people, see how they do things, and take little bits and pieces of their knowledge and add it to my game. And I think that has helped me get to where I am today.
Boom. You can't say it any brother. You couldn't say that any better, brother. Now, Aljo, this is your opportunity to let people know where they can find you, how they can support you, how can they get some of this delicious rum. The floor is yours, bro. The floor is yours, brother. Fuck. Got me fucking slurring my words.
The rum is fucking you up right now.
I ain't drinking in a long time. I ain't gonna lie.
You guys can find me at Funkmaster MMA, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Funk Harbor Rum on Instagram as well. funkharborrum.shop if you want to purchase one of this fine, eloquent bottles. Limited edition of rum. Taste the funk. And guys, I know funk sounds weird, but Jamaican rum has been noted to have characteristics of funk. That's where the name funk comes from. Of course, Funk Master as well.
Yeah.
And then my grandparents are from the Dry Harbor Mountains, like their grandparents. So that's kind of like where that all came from. Just doing a little research on my family, asking them to come up with the name and everything. So that's where we're at.
Hey, I'm here for it. Cheers, brother. Thank you once again for coming on the MightyCast. Cheers. Oh, I love that.
Oh, you downed the whole thing. Oh,
yeah, it's delicious. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode of the MightyCast, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. Make sure you pick up some of this delicious rum. Aljo, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. I need some fight tips.
We'll play again if you want. We can talk a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. We out.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, I have to break the news. I will not be competing in Salt Lake City at UFC 307. In sparring, I had an injury not requiring surgery, but I was advised by the UFC medical staff that I will not be able to properly compete in this short of a turnaround. I will be back soon, possibly do this in December. So that's pretty much all I got. So, this sucks. I was so close, 3 weeks out, man. It is what it is. So, yeah. See you guys hopefully sooner than later.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Recap. And we just had Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling on the MightyCast. And man, first off, let's talk about this rum. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I stopped drinking because I just I just don't want to drink. I'd rather smoke weed instead. Not that I'm smoking weed every fucking day, but when I'm gonna treat myself, I like to smoke weed. But this is absolutely delicious. I'm gonna have a little bit more because it's got me feeling right. It's high premium, and I know I'm gonna be able to go spar or train with Aljo tomorrow. So, would you like some more?
Yeah, of course.
You fucking goddamn right.
No, I mean I wasn't just saying it to say it, but it was smooth. I'm not a huge drinker, but no, I'm not feeling like I have to chase it or anything. Just drink it smooth. Don't need the ice. I don't know why that one hit me a little bit more than the first for some reason, but no, it was nice.
But let's talk about Aljo. I mean, I think the coolest thing I've always enjoyed about Aljo is how fucking down to earth he is. Like every single time I've ever hung out with him, the very first time I met him and at the outlet malls here in Las Vegas, it was with my wife and kids. First thing that came to my impression was like, wow, he's fucking big. Like he's tall, filled out. And even though we had, I don't want to call it beef, but we had a disagreement with the whole knees to the ground an opponent when he fought Peter Yan and when I fought Adrian Moraes. I love where I would say an athletic friendship, mutual respect is, right? Like I would consider him my friend. Like he hasn't came on my house. I've been to his house, but I just love where our friendship is, our mutual respect of mixed martial arts is, and I've always enjoyed talking to him and training with him.
No, and I don't know if I've said this story on the podcast, but my history with him is kind of funny because it first started with, of course, I was producing Henry Cejudo's YouTube, and that fight week in New Jersey, like the team were just complete jackasses to Aljo. Like all week they were just, and in fairness, that's the game, right? Like all's fair in love and war. Like they were doing what they could to get on his nerves and all that stuff. But I just felt bad because I thought him and Marab would look at like all this, this guy, even though he's their producer's a dick and he's filming all of this, but they could not be more of like nice dudes. Like I'm not just saying this, like two of the nicest fighters I've met. Like they're both just so chill. And since then I've connected with Aljo, and I'll text him every now and then, try to help out his YouTube and everything. So no, it's just funny because it started with him getting so pissed off. And we were, because UFC does it on I was talking about this with your wife Destiny. Actually, they do it on purpose. Like they'll put you in the hotels, and it's like, come on, you're able to separate us where we don't pass by you every second. And then every time there's a fight, we pull out our phones or our cameras, it goes viral. But it shows the type of guy he is, that like he's so cool about it, and he's over it, and no, such a chill dude.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too, let's talk about the gym culture of training, right? Like how Murad was fighting a guy threw him, big throw, a Russian guy threw him. That guy goes off and posts all over the internet. And then even Aljo, he's like, sometimes I don't know if I want to train people just because they might run away with it, trying to make a name for myself. And that's the thing that's horrible about today's society. Not just the gym culture, but like, let's say, for example, like you just said, in the UFC, when I fight, they would put me right next to my fucking opponent. And the next thing you know, like I'm always seeing him. Like I don't know how many times I saw Henry Cejudo when we fought the first time and the second time. Granted, Henry's cool, I'm cool. We never had any beef, but they always put you in that position to maybe talk shit to them, right? And I think with social media, how everybody's, taking record. I mean, who just fought in the fucking casino?
That's so
Mark Vittori.
Yeah, Marvin Vittori and Brendan Allen.
Yeah. Everybody had their phone out. I said, hey guys, come on. We're grown-ass men. You guys get paid to fight. But no, everybody's like this. Fight! And next thing you know, everybody's posting on social media to try to gain attraction or try to be the next big viral superstar. And I think that's what's been able to kill, it has killed the gym culture of like, hey, you know what, man? I want to train with you. I don't care if you're better than me. I don't care if I'm better than you. But I just want to but just be exposed to your speed, your intelligence, your game, your strength. And that's one of the things I love about Aljo. He seems to be very open to that. And that's why I think, granted he is 35, so he is at the tail end of his career as a professional athlete. But I think for him to be 35 and be open to, train with me and just to learn new things is a breath of fresh air.
You being a fighter, how much was his fight against Calvin Kattar a dream for you?
Oh, it's
you
amazing.
Go in there and you take
no damage.
You probably get more damage when you were like going with Mikey, doing jiu-jitsu than if you got in that fight. That's the game.
That's
go
a
in there,
fucking dream.
get the winner's purse, take the least amount of damage. Like that's a great fight for him. Shit.
I totally agree with you. Like at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather said it the best. The name of the game is to hit and not to be hit, right? And he didn't take any damage from a guy. When you look at his fight against Shane, they were going back and fucking forth, concussions, cuts. Why? I don't understand why people think when you do mixed martial arts, like the fan base, like you should be more impressed with somebody to get in a fist fight. Like when I fought John Dotson the second time, I had no blemishes on my face. Not one. And at the time in the flyweight division, he was the hardest hitting motherfucker in that division. And I remember saying, I was like, you see this right here? This wood technique get you. I'm prettier than a motherfucker. That's what fans should want to do, right? If you go to war with another country, you want to not suffer as no casualties whatsoever. If you go to war, it's like, oh man, we lost 2 million soldiers in this war, but we still won the war. You have to rethink your strategy. If you go to war with a different country, say, hey, we just won this war and we lost 0 soldiers in this fight, that should be a round of applause. And that's how I look at Aljamain Sterling versus when he fought Kattar. He took no damage whatsoever, but the fans hate him for it. I don't understand. I think the fans need to switch their mindset to be like, how can somebody get in a fist fight and not take any damage? And that's when I look at Aljamain Sterling's style is, we talk about it, we're open about it. How can you get the W with the least amount of resistance in a fight?
No, so I mean, for me, because people made the jokes about there was a $300,000 bonus for the UFC 300, whatever. I mean, he got his win. He gets to sit out, and as he said, gets to enjoy going to all these countries, getting paid vacations because he would have gone there anyway. And it's like, now I'm just grappling, and I'm not even necessarily in shape, but I'm just getting paid to do shit. So I think he's someone who gets a bad rep, and one of the nicest fighters I've met. I'm going to be rooting for him. There's levels to grappling and these, but I will say with Aljo, look at him take down an Olympic gold medalist, of course there was a size difference there, but Aljo in the sport of MMA is absolutely one of the best grapplers out there. So no, we're rooting for him. I don't care about the negative comments saying we're biased. We absolutely, we absolutely are biased. We're rooting for him.
I always love that. Like, fans, let me tell you this right now. If you have a favorite football team or a favorite basketball team or a favorite hockey team, and if they're about to compete and they lose, you should be fucking pissed off. You should. You have every right to be pissed off.
But the crazy thing with Israel Adesanya, it's even more than that. It's a friend. Like if you were at the bar with me and I was getting in a fight with someone and I had a bar fight, would you
I would help you fight?
Well, I mean, let's say even if you didn't help, are you going to root for the other guy?
No.
I'm going to
fucking help you fight.
Me. But even more than that, you're going to root for me to win the fight.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to be like, you know what? I want this to be a good fight.
Maybe I don't know what today's society is, right? But if you go to a bar and let's say you're minding your own business and somebody comes to pick a fight with you, you bet your sweet fucking candy ass I'm going to fucking be there to help you fight. Whether we both get our asses kicked or I get my ass kicked and you don't get your ass kicked or you get your ass kicked and I don't get my ass kicked, I'm going to fucking fight with you. But if we're at a bar and you start picking a fight with somebody and I'm like, Michael, don't be an asshole. Don't pick a fight with somebody. I'm going to let you get your ass kicked. But back to
you're not getting the point that the point I'm making is like you see your friend Israel Adesanya in a fight, you're going to obviously want him to win.
I want him to win.
Yeah, even more than the sports team reference, it's just you're seeing a friend that's fighting. So I think
it's the thing too. It's not I don't hate DDP.
And we respect him.
I respect Dricus Duplessis. I know how to say your name correctly now. Yeah. But I'm always going to root for my friends. And I think the fans and the viewership, they should be happy that I'm not going to put on a fucking front that if Izzy fights and if I know DDP, I didn't think DDP was going to win. If I know DDP is going to win, I'm still going to root for my friend. I want Aljamain Sterling to win because I consider him a friend. If he came to Seattle, Washington, I'll invite him over to my house. I feel comfortable me going to the grocery store and him hanging out with the kids, just the same as you. So for me, I consider him a friend and I want him to win. Just like Izzy, I want him to win. Just like John Jones, I want him to win. Even though I think John Jones should fight fucking Tom Aspinall, but if John Jones wishes to fight Stipe Miocic, who hasn't fought in 16 years, and his last, fight was he got knocked out by Francis Ngannou, that's fine. I'm a fan of John Jones. But just because I state the fucking facts doesn't mean I'm disagreeing with his wishes. And I think a lot of the fans and the viewership and the viewers and whoever the fuck is watching hears me say that, puts me in a bandwagon as a hater, it's unbelievable. Like, I meet people all the time who bet against me or root against me. I don't have any ill will to them. I was like, hey, that's who you're rooting for. I have no problem with that. But I just feel in today's society, people can't just be honest and transparent about who they want to win. And if they are rooting against me, I don't have to have bad blood against them. And I don't know. I just think today's society is just totally different from when I grew up.
No, and this is why Ariel Helwani never makes predictions, and so he's the smartest man.
I can fucking predictions.
But I'm just saying this is the reason why, so I completely get it now.
Here's the thing. Kai France. I picked Steve Ercik to beat Kai France. Reason why?
So were you DMing him, or was this?
I did DM him.
Oh.
I did DM him. Kai France fought Steve Ercik at UFC 305. I felt that Steve Ercik could beat Kai France. Reason why is because when he fought Alex Pantoja, the champion in the flyweight division, if Steve Ercik could take the fight to the ground, it could propose problems to Kai France. If he stayed on his feet with Kai France, the opportunity for Kai France to win the fight goes up significantly higher, right? It's just like when we talked to Mike Misimichi. He says, you look at the analytics, 85% of the people who pull guard in a jiu-jitsu competition win the fight, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why Mike Misimichi pulls guard. So when I looked at that fight, Kai France, when he fought Cody No Love, Cody usually takes a route of striking with somebody. Steve Ercik just had a big fight with Alex Pantoja. He tried to grapple the fucking grappler, which is the bad thing to do. If Steve Ercik would have grappled Kai France, the fight would have played out different. I told Kai France, I said, hey, I'll let you know, I picked against you. I said Steve Ercik should beat you if he goes to wrestle you. Kai France. And I said, hey, prove my channel wrong. Prove me wrong. Please do it. What does he do? He knocks out Steve Ercik. He messages me back. Just so you guys he messages me back. And that's what he says. God, we have the whole fucking timeline's fucking. Kai France. He says, I said this. He said this August 12th, 4:26 p.m. Sup, brother? Been a fan for you for years. Not just your fights, but you being a family man. Love being an underdog. Not here to prove to anyone. Just prove to myself. Appreciate the support. I said, let's fucking go. Get that money and likewise. Smiley face heart. He sent a fist bump. And then I commented on it. I did the reaction. He posts this reaction.
You reacting to the knockout?
Yep. Reacted to the knockout. This is the post fight of me like,
he sent that to you?
He sent it to me and he says, don't count me out. Smiley face. He's probably like this.
Yeah, probably. He's like,
right? I said, never again. And he set a heart. Stop me disrespecting him.
Yeah, no, that makes me earn a lot of respect for Kai France.
And me just as like this role I'm going into as, I don't know what my role is. Am I an analyst? Am I a content creator? Am I a host of like, what is my role? But if I look at this as an analyst and I look at what Steve Ercik did his last fight, he tried to wrestle Alex Pantoja, and I thought he would try to do the same thing with Kai France, and he didn't, and he got knocked out. So I'm not butthurt. I'm not upset because whether Kai wins or Steve Ercik wins, it doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect my kids. It doesn't affect my wife. It doesn't affect me. So that's why I feel comfortable giving a prediction on a fight where I think how it should have gone, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's not like who you like more. I mean, unless he's fighting one of your friends. Which this isn't a huge list of people. It's just, Israel Adesanya, Max Holloway, Robert Whittaker, Aljamain Sterling. Like, it's not...
Exactly. Like, when Rob Whittaker fights Hamzat, who do you think I'm going to fucking go for?
What do you know Hamzat Chimaev?
Yeah, I don't know him from a can of paint.
Do you have him on two episodes of the MightyCast or something?
No. Yeah. But I've actually hung out with Rob Whittaker in New York when I used to fight for the UFC, right? Like, my wife and his wife hung out. We've hung out. We talked about mixed martial arts, and it's good. Did I go over there and babysit his kids? No, that's not physically fucking possible. But if I was in Australia and he goes, hey, Mike, I need you to watch the kids while I get some dental work done. Can you do it? I'm like, absolutely, bro. We'll play fucking, Fallout, whatever it may be. I would do that for him, right? So it's just, we're going on a fucking rant.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
Delicious fucking rum.
The Funk Harbor right here. Can't tell if the camera's in focus, but hope it is. I'll show it here too. Go to we'll put the link in the description.
Yes, sir.
And support the guy, support the cause. Let's go, Aljamain Sterling.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode of the Mighty Recap, do yourself a favor, like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to know when we go live. And do yourself a favor. You okay? Do yourself a favor. Go pick up some Funk Harbor rum. The liquid is from the motherland of Jamaica. Support our boy Aljamain Sterling, as there's only 5,900 bottles made, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's limited, and he's going to come out with a white rum. It's a little bit more commercial, more accessible. But
yes, the premium rum. I'm feeling good. We finished fucking half this bottle.
Damn, no wonder I'm so drunk now.
We finished half the bottle. We feel good. You should too. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. We will see you, beautiful people, at the next episode of the MightyCast.